A big welcome back to the channel. This is a full tour and review of Perfect Day Coco Cay, one of the nicest islands in the Caribbean and widely considered the best private island almost in the entire world. And I'm here to take you on a full tour to show you all that's included in the island for absolutely no additional cost. There's snorkeling, a lot of water, different sports. There's food to eat. There's a great big balloon that goes up in the air. There's a lagoon that is the largest in the Caribbean. And there are lots of different types of beaches. Every single one of them is unique. We got the cabanas all over, day beds, and again, lots of different places to eat and relax and just enjoy your time at the park. And I'm here to give you a full tour so you can know exactly what to expect and know how best to spend your time. So stay tuned, there's a lot in store, and we're gonna get started right now. We're not going to delay. We're going to jump right into it and take you to one of the most popular beaches on the island. It's called South Beach, and it's named after South Beach, Miami. If you look in the distance, you see all those little cabanas like things in the water. Those are just shades where you can hang out and drink. And also that thing right there in the middle of the screen right now is a beach bar. As you look at it, you can see that it's crowded, it's packed, and that's because it's one of the most iconic things to do on the island. And this entire area is not exclusive, so that you can come to South Beach. You don't need a special pass or privilege. There's some places on the island that you do need a special pass to go on, but this is not one of them. In fact, most of the places that you can go and see and do are absolutely included. But what you're looking at right now, all these beach, not cabanas, but beach beds, these are not included. You're going to spend several $100s for these beach beds, and there's several of them spread throughout the entire island, and we'll go over all of that throughout this video. Something that you will find at South Beach that you're not necessarily going to find at many of the other beach options is all the various things that you can do. As I pan the camera around, you see that there are beach there, chairs here, and in the distance is the beach. But as you look around, all these activities, beach volleyball, whatever these guys are playing right here, the basketball court in the background, all of these are included. So you don't have to spend any extra money. But if you want an area that has a bit more entertainment, it's very much more exciting than, say, the other location on the island that we'll go to in a little bit, then this is where you want to go. And it's probably the most popular beach on the island, and it's called South Beach. In my opinion, no matter what beach you go to, your kids or adults are going to have fun. But if you have teenagers and young adults and even adults that are active, they're going to want to go to South Beach. This, in my opinion, is where you're going to find the most activities that are going to keep you entertained. So if the beach doesn't do it for you, but you just love the sun and you love to do things that are active, then definitely you want to come to South Beach. If you like snorkeling, I recommend you bring your own snorkel gear. If you don't, you'll pay about $50 for the pleasure of renting a snorkel gear for the day. And as you can see, if you're just a little bit off course, you can see a abundance of natural wildlife beneath the ocean. These are my kids here having a great time. You can see the water is crystal clear in most spots. It gets a little cloudy, especially if a storm moves in, but for the most part, snorkeling just off the beach is not a problem. When I travel to Perfect Cay, I bring my own snorkel gear. However, if you don't want to be bothered, you don't have to. You can rent it. It costs about $50. Kayak rentals are anywhere from $40 to $49. The only challenge is you can't just go out and kayak on your own. You have to go with a group and then come back as a group. However, it's a great option if you want to do it, and it's not too expensive. Now, if you want to go jet skiing, it's going to cost you a little bit under $200 for about 2 hours on the jet ski, which isn't a bad price, but it's a toured jet ski excursion where you're traveling around the island, and it's a wonderful bargain in my opinion. If you have ever seen a Royal Caribbean commercial about Perfect Day Coco Cay, then you're not going to miss the air balloon ride. However, most of the times I have been there, it's been out of commission. I've yet to go up on it because it's usually always too windy. So if you rent that excursion, prepare to be disappointed. The first place that we're going to head to is Chill Island. And as you can take a look in the pictures, you can see that there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of beach chairs here. And the great thing about being here is that all the beach umbrellas and beach chair are absolutely included. So you don't have to spend any additional cost. Now, if you want a place that's close to the port where you get off the ship without having to do a lot of walking, then this is going to be the perfect section for you. However, there's no natural beach here. It has a great view. You hear the ocean in the background and you're right next to the ship. However, it doesn't have a beach area. However, if you walk a little bit further down, you'll see that it has a nice area right down the road, and it has tons and tons of beach chairs down here. Now, the only challenge is if you want one of these chairs, you have to come out early. The earlier you get there, the more likely you are to get one of those chairs that face the end, just right at the very front. One of the things that you will notice is that there are beach beds and cabanas for rent all throughout the island, and they're very different in how they're structured as well as the price. Sometimes you pay a few hundred, other times you're paying several $1,000s. And what do they come with? They usually all come with some kind of covered structure. There's some seating inside or outside. It's usually in various degree of cushion, depending on how much you pay. The more you pay, the more comfortable it is, and the more ideal and iconic and relaxing the space is. So really, you get what you pay for when it comes to this. But be prepared if you want one of these day beds or cabanas, that you need to rent it early. And what I mean by that is oftentimes you'll find two ships in port, and there will be a competitive process to try and get these. At times they do sell out. So if you want one of these, especially one that has a great view right in the very front, you need to do it early. I recommend you do it before you actually get on board the ship, because oftentimes when you're on board the ship, you're competing with other guests who are making a last minute decision, and now you're maybe paying a surge price more than you ordinarily would get, and then you're actually going to get maybe a less than cabana area. The next area I want to take you to is Breezy Bay Beach. And as you can look around, you see there's tons of seating available. And for all the beaches, they have nice white sand. They have crystal clear water. And if you look at the water, it's generally always calm. I've been here many times and I've never seen the water of any of these areas to be very stormy or in a way that you can't go out there. Now, on occasion, they'll shut the beach down because there's a storm and there's lightning. But outside of that, you're going to find nice, tranquil, calm waters. When it comes to day beds and cabana, the most affordable option is going to be the day bed, and those start at around $200 per bed. Now, the pricing that I'm just saying right now is not necessarily the price that you'll pay, and the reason why is because there's surge pricing. What I mean by that is if they get a lot of people who are interested and not enough inventory, then the prices are going to go up. As you can see, the floating cabanas, you're looking at thousands of dollars. They come with a slide, they come with some type of a butler service often, and it's out there on the water. It's very iconic, but it's very expensive. So if you want one of these type service, just come prepared to pay. If you have young kids, then Harbor Beach is the place that you want to go, and for a couple of good reasons. Number one, it's one of the closest beaches to the cruise port. It's right next to an eating establishment, and it's in sort of a bay area. So the outer beaches could get a little rough and wavy. However, Harbor Beach is relatively calm the entire time, and that's because it's in a little moon enclosure. That means there's not a lot of waves that impact it. Now, the downside to this is that if you have young people who like a more active beach where there's waves and maybe a little bit of a breeze, then you're going to necessarily not like it so much. But if you have young kids and you're not a good swimmer and you want lifeguards that are out in the water as well as on the beach, then this is going to be a perfect option for you. If you continue walking past South Beach, you're going to come across the Cove. This is one of the most secluded beaches you'll find anywhere on the island. So if you like to be alone, like to feel like almost like you're in a deserted place, then this is going to be the right spot for you. The beach, quite frankly, is not for everyone. A lot of people don't like all the sand and the salt water. It destroys people's hair and skin. So for those of you who would like a more different type of experience, there is the Oasis Lagoon, and it is a large lagoon. It's one of the largest in the entire Caribbean. What you're looking at right now is a swim-up bar, which is one of my favorite features of the Oasis Lagoon. As I pan the camera around and you take a look, you just get an idea of the how large the pool is. It's not very deep. It only goes down around 3 feet at the deepest end, but it's surrounded by pool chairs by the hundreds. So finding a spot here that's right next to the pool is not going to be a problem. If you want a cabana type experience, then you're in luck, because right next to Oasis Lagoon are cabanas that are for rent. They can accommodate as many as 8 guests. You see they have sand floors, thatch roof, they're covered areas. They are absolutely perfect. There are lots of places that you can eat scattered throughout the entire island, and I'm panning the camera around right now so you can take a look at Chill Grill. This is one of the largest included eating establishments that you are going to be able to find on the entire island. It has a mix of different types of food: hot dogs, hamburgers, French fries, fixins, salads, desserts, you name it. However, the food is plentiful. It's not a huge variety, and it's not nearly going to be as good as the food on board the ship, but it's not too far off either. So you're going to enjoy this beach type food experience, and I had a great time here, and I thought the food was excellent. I mentioned a minute or two ago that the quality of food is not going to be as good as you'll find on board the cruise ship, and neither is the service. The service isn't bad. They will clean your table, they will make sure you're comfortable, but it's not going to be quite as pampering as you would find, say, on board the cruise ship. Another one of the main eating establishments on board the island is going to be Skipper's Grill. If you're by the water park and in that area, then this is going to be the eating establishment for you. It's not quite the beach experience that you'd find at the other location, but I like the decor here better, and the food is identical. So if you're looking for a better eat, you're not going to necessarily find one versus the other. I think the experience of the other grill is a bit better. However, the decor I like here a little bit more, and it really just comes down to individual preference, but overall it's about the same quality that you'll find elsewhere on the island. Now, for those of you who are following my channel, you know that I don't work for Royal Caribbean or any one of those other cruise lines. The only way that people can find my content is for people like you to hit the like and subscribe button. And now is as good a time as any to encourage you just to hit the like button. You don't have to hit the subscribe button. No one's asking you to do that, but I am asking you to hit the like button to help like-minded people find my content. They are free-range animals on board. You'll find plenty of seagulls as well as chicken that roams around. Now, if you get the beverage package on board your ship and you come on the island and you expect it to work, you're going to be pleasantly surprised, because it will work. Some islands, they don't allow the beverage package to work, but when we were there, unless they change it relatively soon, it does work on board the island. And there are an assortment of places scattered all throughout the islands where you can drink. It's not as big as a selection as maybe you'll find on board the cruise ship, but if you're looking for your basics, they will have it here. We were in port with 2 different ships, and one of the things I did find a problem with is how fast the drinks were served. I felt that I had to wait maybe 5 or 10 minutes just to be able to make my order. Of all the places on the island, with the lagoon swim-up bar coming in a close second, I love to drink at Captain Jack's. Captain Jack's, the decor is absolutely phenomenal. Also, there oftentimes is an entertainment venue too as well. So if you like some place to sit down, it has a great deck where you can have an overlook of the lagoon area. It's absolutely beautiful. I love Captain Jack. So if you want to drink and you want to have a great, Caribbean type atmosphere, relaxed type of chill zone to drink, then Captain Jack is where you need to go. The island can accommodate 2 ships. And when we were there, we were the 4th largest ship in the world, Utopia, and there was another ship here. So the island was completely full. And as you walk around, you see that there are plenty of open chairs. What's the point of having a great island escape if you can't find a place to sit and enjoy it? And there are plenty of seats available. You see some hammocks as well. If you can find them, they are included. So the seats are all available. Well, not available, but free, as well as the umbrellas are all free. And you see that not just the umbrella area, but there's lots of secluded areas where there are palm trees, and they have that covering too as well. So it's a beautiful, well laid out island with plenty of seating available for everyone. If you happen to be vacationing with your family and you have young kids, they are going to love this water park right here. It is Splash Away Bay. It's not just for young kids, it's for young kids and adults alike. You see adults sitting there playing with their kids and having a great time. And the wonderful thing about this park is that there's seating all around the edge. So if you're a parent, you don't have to abandon your kids. And it's a wonderful included space, so you don't have to pay any extra for this water park. For even younger kids, there is Captain Jill's Galleon, and it's right next to Splash Away Bay, another included water park area where they can have fun. There's squirt guns, stairs, areas that they can walk up and just have a great time. Water splashing all around, so kids are going to love this. Now, if you happen to be adventurous and you want to maybe explore the island a little bit, there are walking paths that groove throughout the island. Definitely at the start of your vacation, get one of the maps from the top of the island so you can understand what the island looks like. You know, I was so excited to tell you about the island that I never talked about the disembarkation process. And this is what the island looks like from on board your cruise ship. It's a big but small island, definitely manageable. Now, if you're going to get off, you need your C card pass to get off and get back on the ship. Also, they check your baggage, so the disembarkation process is not necessarily as fast as it could be, but it's also not very slow. When it comes to walking to the island, it's not a very long walk. If you have a mobility challenge or if you just don't feel like walking, there's transportation available. Most people elect to walk. However, if you want one of these transport, you have to wait for it. It does take around 10 minutes for the line to cycle through, but it'll save you a few minutes just to walk to the main entrance. If your plan is to go to one of the beaches that are a little bit further away, do not walk it. Why burn all that and waste all that energy? Take one of the transportation, and they run fairly frequently. The most you'll probably wait will be around maybe 10 minutes at the very most. They run about every 5 minutes you'll find a transport. It was never an issue. And in my opinion, why waste all that energy to get to the one end of the island and be exhausted in the process? If you are wheelchair bound or need a scooter, those are available. They have beach wheelchairs available at no extra cost. Regardless of what your mobility status is, definitely get an understanding of what the island looks like, because there are free maps that are given out at the front of the island. However, once you get to other portions of the island, getting a map is near impossible. So get one of the maps. And if you miss a map, there's directional signs provided throughout the entire island experience. Now, if you love to shop, there is retail opportunities available on the island. And these retail shops are owned by native Bahamians. So if you want to support the Bahamian economy and the locals, this is where you go. It's not a heavy sell experience, and that's one of the things I really enjoyed about this shopping experience. There are lockers available. They're spread throughout the island. From what I was able to see, most of them were connected to bathroom stalls. Now, if you're not a strong swimmer or if you have young kids, good news is that there were lifeguards all throughout the island. They were on the beach. Even if you were in the lagoon area, the pool area, there were lifeguards there too as well. Now, if you're thinking about bringing some type of a pop-up canopy or tent, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's worth the effort. I never saw anyone that brought that out with them. At some other islands, when they charge for the umbrellas, I do see that, but I didn't see that here, and I don't think there's a need for it. If, for whatever reason, you don't trust the lifeguards, there are complimentary life jackets, not just for kids, but for adults too as well. Now, here's something that you may be a little bit surprised to hear. The number one thing you have to watch out for on the island, the biggest threat to your safety, is not going to be necessarily drowning. It's going to be the heat. It's in the Bahamas. It's in the Caribbean. It's hot. So definitely drink before you disembark from the ship and throughout the entire day while you're on the island. And then when you get back onto the ship, you definitely want to continue to drink. There are showers available throughout the entire island. The water in the pool is fresh water, but still you want to get all that chlorine off your body. And the good news is that there are outdoor showers available through. There are designated smoking areas that kind of looks like bus stops. And also, I love the fact that there were towel returns areas. So you didn't have to lug your towel off the ship and or back on the ship. So you can just check out a towel. All you need is your key card. When I started this broadcast, I said that this is one of the most popular islands in the Caribbean, if not the world, private islands that is, and for good reason. It's great for kids and adults alike. It has activities for young people. There's jet skis available, snorkeling, kayaking, a host of things that you can do and enjoy on board on this island. And it is exclusive to Royal Caribbean, and it is the envy of all the other cruise lines. It's that good of an experience.